Jahan Yamuna, Taha Yamuna, as it says in Braj Bhasha. Yamuna ji, of course we know, she's the daughter of the sun. She has emerged from the blissful heart of Narayan. Kalindagiri Mastake Patadamanda Puro Jwala Vilasagamanolassat, as Vallabhacharya explains. She cascades down the Kalindi mountain and she runs quickly towards the land of Vrindavan like she's a bride rushing to meet her beloved Krishna. Bhaktinako Sugama Sri Yamune Agama Ore. This sort of sums up the Yamunaji thing, is that for those who worship Yamunaji, it is easy to understand Krishna. Agama Ore. It's very difficult if you don't worship Yamunaji, because Yamunaji is considered to be nirguna. She doesn't have any anger. She doesn't have any competition. There is no thing that, oh, if this soul comes to Krishna before me, where you see that sometimes in some of the other relationships within the Sakhi realm of Vrindavan. Maybe this is beyond the scope of your current project, but I say it anyways. The Yamunaji doesn't have any issue with anyone. She just wants to take her children who are established with the divine reality and reestablish them once again in their original blissful condition. So that's why the poet says that it's very easy with Yamuna to attain. He says, Taha Yamahu Reta Hatha Jore. And he says there that Yama, the god of retribution, stands at a bit of a distance from those bhaktas who worship Yamunaji with his folded hands in respect to them. So that is the divine form. Yamuna has three forms. She has a form as a river, which we know is polluted, that barely doesn't even flow through Delhi anymore. That is the subject of, a lot of our current prayers, that we want to somehow clean up this river who is considered to be so incredibly sacred. And for that, there are numerous efforts being undertaken. So the water in the Yamunaji flows in the rainy season. Yamunaji is wider, in the hot season smaller. So that's the Adibhotik, that's her material form. And then there is the Adhyatmic Yamunaji, and that is the force that is found within the water or by her banks. That is it's the force that purifies her followers and makes them worthy of spiritual attainment. And then there is the third form of Yamunaji, that is the divine form, and she is a Swamini. She is one of Krishna's beloved. Namaste Krishna Turiya Priyam, as Mahaprabhu says. And so I bow to the fourth, Turiya, which of course is a very important yogic word, the fourth state of consciousness, or she is nirguna. She is beyond tamas, rajas, and sattvic. And that form of Yamunaji, I have pictures of her pretty much in every room of my house here, is generally depicted of her dressed up like Lord Krishna. Many people would even think, oh, well, that's a picture of Krishna, but actually it's Yamuna. She's holding a garland in her hand, and she's wearing a mukut, a crown. And her Sanskrit name is Krishna, with a long A, as opposed to Krishna with a short A. So Krishna Guna Varna, she's got Krishna's virtues, she's got Krishna's form, she's swarthi, like that. And different from Kalindi, who is the Patarani from Dwarka Lila. Many people think that Kalindi is Yamunaji in the Dwarka Lila. But actually, Kalindi lives in the Yamuna River. She's not Yamunaji. Just something for people who have that. And of course, she is the grace goddess. The lines that say, Bina mange kodet, kahanko indikehet. Without even asking her, she gives. Who can praise her beneficial nature? It's beyond expression. One thing I did notice, that in the morning I would go out, it was during this season, it was in December 1972 when I first came here, and I would lie on her banks. And I had done several years of meditation and yoga practice prior to coming to India, but the joy that I felt by just lying on Yamunaji's banks without trying to do any spiritual practice, far excelled any insight or spiritual understanding that I had attained through copious practice that I did elsewhere. So that was my initial hit of Yamunaji. And I thought, this is amazing. You know, without really, you know, I wasn't on any drugs. I wasn't even trying to practice meditation. Or I wasn't even chanting. I wasn't doing anything. I was just lying by her banks, and I felt this incredible sense of union with the divine. And I'll never forget those feelings because, you know, it wasn't like someone told me, you have to worship Yamunaji or Yamunaji has this potency. No one told me. It was just a direct experience. And it's a side of India that I don't fully understand, and I don't know whether anyone understands it, is that why would a river that is considered to be so sacred be treated in such a harmful way in terms of polluting her with all the chemicals and the dyes from the saris and the plastic and cutting off her flow when she enters Delhi. It doesn't even flow, the river stops and somehow reemerges magically a little bit further south. I mean, this is a river that we all worship. So I don't understand that. And I don't think anyone does. And I think that when people do understand the relationship between the water and her ability to transform individuals and maybe their consciousness so that they begin to respect the water, because water, jala jivan, water is life, so that her transformational powers will maybe enter into the consciousness of enough people so that they will start to respect the river the way the river respects them. Yamunaji brings together the family of devotees and sends them on their way to God. Radhe, Radhe.